In this essence, I tend to have a lot of favor and my relationships tend to be a lot better. Oh, have you been working out? Whoa, your arms are strong. But they tend to see the best in people. So you want to learn how to get what you want from people? Oh honey, you've come to the right place. Today I'm sharing the secret principle that will make all the difference in your interactions with people. What's my credibility? It is I. I've gotten every job I've applied for, including competitive roles at Good Morning America and Paramount Pictures. When I'm practicing this, I get free stuff at grocery stores. People give me coupons. When I'm at restaurants, people anonymously pay for my meals. You can call it pretty privilege, but that's dismissive. You can call it divine, feminine embodiment, energy, magnetism. But that's dismissive. Before you dismiss favor and call it pretty privilege or divine feminine energy, all that kind of stuff, I want to say that all the energy givers in my life come from different backgrounds, ages, genders, all of that. They're not your typical like pretty privilege, America's Next Top Model, Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome type of people. They're also not like super rich and drive these super crazy like super cars, and they don't have the material things that you think would give somebody privilege, but they have this life-giving energy, which is just incredible and anybody can cultivate it. So keep that in mind. I'm not that. And life may be different from you, but that doesn't mean that you can't cultivate the skills, especially life-giving energy that can help you also get the type of favor that you desire. You don't get the favor you desire, you get the favor you deserve. I'll be sharing characteristics of life givers and then characteristics of life takers, boo, and finally how you can embody this and use it and practice it in your own life. So, if you're interested in learning about this, I highly recommend it, then keep on watching. Characteristics of energy givers. So we all know and have energy givers in our lives. These are people who invite you over to their house and you see them and they are excited to see you. They give you the best hug in the world that makes you feel like everything's gonna be okay. They intently listen to you, look you in the eye, and they're undistracted. They remember details about you. They're people who after you're done spending time with them, you are just filled. Your love cup is filled. You are excited about life. Their energy is contagious and you're ready to go and tackle anything you got to do that day. That, my friends, is an energy giver. And energy givers get what they want because they are generous with the energy and the optimism and the gratitude that they already have. And they make people around them feel better. So if you are someone who is in a position of power, you want to hire this person and add them to your team because honestly, they boost morale. And that's not something that is easily taught. If you're a man looking for a wife, you want a woman who brings that positive energy, and vice versa. You want a husband who's going to bring that optimism. So you're going to be more attracted to those types of people. Even as a content creator and online, we tend to be attracted to people who enrich our lives. I have a couple energy givers in my life. They just are like supercharged, like Energizer bunnies. Not so much with the energy, but with the optimism. If you were to see all of the energy givers in my life and probably the energy givers in your own life, they do have certain characteristics. So let's get into it. The first characteristic that they tend to have is that they are very optimistic. Optimistic meaning they see the cup as half full versus half empty. If there's some kind of mistake, they don't sit and dwell on it and let it fester, but they are like usually moving on to the next thing. Another thing is when they greet you, they are happy to see you. It's not like, oh, hi, and then like they're looking down. They usually see you and they're like, Rebecca, or insert your name. They're like, hi. They give you amazing greeting hug. I have an aunt who's like this, gives the best hug, and they look at you and they're like, how are you? And they look you in the eye when they ask. It's not like, oh, have you been? Good, okay, good. No, but they want to know how you've been. And then they usually remember things about you. I remember you hurt your hamstring. Are you okay? Has that healed? Oh, you've been paying off debt. Where are you now? Tell me about it. How's college? Like, what's your favorite part? And they ask questions and they're very curious about you. They don't just come in, sit on your couch and expect you to like run the conversation. And then you ask questions. They're like, yes, no, blah, 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 blah. But they're very engaged with you. They tend to have excellent communication skills and are very curious. Curiosity is a form of good communication, which is why they're able to ask these questions. And along with this comes confidence. Because if you have low confidence around people, then you're hyper vigilant about yourself and super focused on like me and myself and what am I doing wrong? Am I awkward? Nobody wants to talk to me. Oh, that person's cooler than me. It's all these like low confident, like social anxiety feelings that you are believing about yourself. And so it makes it hard for you to focus on others. But a secret to becoming a more confident communicator is to try to take the focus off yourself and put it onto them and be naturally curious about them. And that's something that these energy givers do, is that they're naturally curious about the people around them. Another thing about energy givers is that they are generous. Every single energy giver that I know, including the 3 that I mentioned, is that they give. They give so much. For example, friend Kyle gives energy drinks. Every time you see him, he's giving you something. He's like, oh, hey, I bought these Cliff Bars. Do you want them? Here, take them. Oh, I have some extra socks. Here, take these extra socks. Hey, you guys want to stay for dinner? Yeah, let's get a pizza and it's our treat. So he's always having stuff that he just gives. One of the best things that they give are compliments. All the energy givers in my life do this, and probably the ones in yours. What stands out for me the most is my dad. When I see him, he always comes with a compliment. Give him a hug. Oh, Becca, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh, have you been working out? Whoa, your arms are strong. Oh, your hair smells good. Have you been using new shampoo, new conditioner? My dad is so optimistic, and same with all of these other people that I've mentioned. Probably one of the best things about energy givers is that they are patient and accepting for who you are. Feeling accepted is something that a lot of people don't feel. So if you are someone who can offer acceptance, then you're offering a pretty amazing, epic gift. The thing about acceptance is that you are accepting the good parts of somebody, but also the parts that may look kind of ugly, but you give them the benefit of the doubt. So one of the things about the people that I've mentioned is that they don't harbor these negative feelings. Even if they grew up in an abusive household, for example, they look at their parents, and instead of looking at their parents of all the things that their parents did wrong and being very holding on to the harboring feelings, they tend, for some reason, tend to look at their parents as hey, well, that's them. It wouldn't have made me who I am today. Or yeah, they have these bad qualities about them, but they are really good at cooking. And so let's go to Thanksgiving and eat some good food. But they tend to see the best in people. And as a result, they tend to have a lot of friends. And the cool thing about their friends is that their friends tend to be people who don't really fit in everywhere else. But it's this life giver who attracts all of these people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religious beliefs, and kind of brings them together under this umbrella of acceptance. You may have a sibling who's living a very alternative lifestyle than what you're comfortable with, and you may not like what they do, but that doesn't mean that you don't love them for who they are. So that's what I'm sharing today about life givers and their characteristics. I could talk all about this even longer. And the truth is I try to be a life giver as much as possible. And when I'm living in this essence, I tend to have a lot of favor and my relationships tend to be a lot better. But the truth is, I'm not like this all the time, and I can't be. I'm only human. So later in this video, we are going to be talking about how you can cultivate this within yourself, because we don't want to give too much of ourselves to the point we're burned out. Now we are going to be talking about energy takers. We have all been guilty of being an energy taker, but when you're an energy taker, you tend to not get the same feedback for people. People aren't as excited to see you. Bad things tend to start happening. You start losing things instead of gaining things. You tend to get in fights. You're angry, you're irritated, you're impatient when you are in energy-taking mood. I want you to picture Eeyore. Now, Eeyore was always in a pessimistic attitude. He was like, oh, but it's not gonna work, blah, blah, blah. That's not fun. It's not sexy. don't be an energy taker. They are judgmental, critical. They operate in fear. Some top emotions that come from energy takers are anxiety and depression. I'm worried about the future, or I'm focused on the past. Now, the thing about anxiety and depression is that they are very real, and I am a strong believer in getting the right help that you need. And I also believe that it is our responsibility to maintain our mental health. I think we've all been there where we've experienced anxiety or depression, whether on a clinical level or not. And I believe that there are other things that play into it, including like nutrient deficiencies, predispositions, toxins in our environment, all that kind of stuff, but also our daily habits. Do you know an energy taker in your life? Someone who tends to be mainly pessimistic, who when they see you, instead of walking into your house and giving you a big hug like the energy giver, they come in and they're like, hey, oh my God, so this happened today and during my day, sit on your couch, and they're like, oh, it smells in here. Instead of offering life and compliments. Or have you been around someone who is only concerned about themselves and just their needs and how they can get? I think a lot of us have to be careful, because sometimes we can be an energy giver to strangers, to friends, to our boss. But then when we come home, we become an energy taker, and we take from our spouse, our partner, our children, and other people who are close to us, who we know that we can treat them like trash and they're still going to be there because they love us. I think that is a big relational mistake that a lot of people make. And the hard truth is that if we are energy takers to the people who value us the most, then they may leave. Your children may grow up and not want to have anything to do with you. Your spouse may become really cold and distant towards you, or even go and your man or your girl may go find somebody else who's more positive and optimistic and giving. It's not a fun place to be in, but good news is if you've noticed that you've been this person for so long, you can change. It doesn't have to stay that way. And that's what I'm talking about in this next section. How to cultivate being an energy giver. So if you notice yourself being an energy taker, you want to look at why. Are you harboring resentment? Are you super stressed at work? Do you hate where you live? Should you go to therapy? Do you have a hormone imbalance or some kind of mental health issue? Now, once you realize why, then you can look at that and say, okay, what are some ways that I can start replenishing my spirit? You can't give what you don't have. You can't give compliments to other people if you talk to yourself really, really bad and you're really critical on yourself. Let's just say you are a grump and you're really moody around your period and you bring everybody else down with you to the point where they start avoiding you because they're scared of you during this time. Well, that's time to stop and look critically and think, okay, I don't like this about myself and I want to improve it and I don't want to hurt the people around me. So what can I do about it? So now you come up with action items. Maybe that looks like getting a nutrition panel done checking your blood to see if you have any allergens and see what your hormone levels are at. Maybe that's taking supplements. Maybe that's getting out early in the morning and getting sun. Maybe that's decommitting and not being so busy and having such a full calendar so you can start spending time with yourself. That may even look like getting a therapist to show you new skills on how to cope with your emotions versus taking them out on other people. Give yourself some more peace of mind. Does that mean starting a religious practice? Going to church, starting to pray and meditate or journal? I actually created a journal. It's called the Me Date Journal. It's essentially like 20 pages and 20 journal prompts that I've used in my life that helped me go from a burnout, like exhausted, stressed out girl to now a more vibrant, patient, energy-giving, life-giving woman. These are all prompts I've learned over the last 2 years or so, and so I put them all in one book to basically give to my friends and family and to you guys. So if you are interested in that, I highly recommend grabbing it. It is linked in the description box down below. But basically, the Me Date Diary is just for you. You want to have alone time, light a candle, get all showered and fresh and clean, and block out your calendar and just start journaling and answering the prompts. And by the end of it, it will take some time because it's pretty extensive, but by the end of it, you're gonna have a full book full of the things that give you energy, things that you need to work on, and an action plan on how to achieve the life that you want to live as a feminine, lovey, juicy, fulfilled woman. So again, grab that. It's linked in the description box down below. Another characteristic about energy givers is they know how to manage their own energy. So 2 prompts that I highly encourage you use, that I use myself, is if and when, because it's gonna happen to all of us, when you're feeling low, stressed, pressed, and depressed, you wanna ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? What do I need in this moment? And if you're really wound up, this is gonna help you a lot. So you may need your basics. Like I need food to shower and I need to clean my room. That's gonna help me feel a lot better. Or I need to knock out my homework. I need to respond to these messages and I need to go to sleep early tonight. And that's going to bring me back into homeostasis within my body. So that's when you're feeling really low. But you also want to ask yourself, what do I need in my life as well? So this is big picture. What will give me more life, more energy, more excitement? What can I give to myself? And that may look like cutting out junk foods that can affect your mental, like sugar and processed food and alcohol. Sorry, y'all. That may look like signing up for studio dance classes because you know you need some more energy and you need to get out of your head because you work on your computer all day long and you need to just move and use your body. And it may even be harder and uglier and more uncomfortable than that. You may realize you are harboring resentment against your partner or your parents, and it may be time to A, seek some therapy to learn some new skills on how to communicate with them, or B, straight up tell them how you feel in a loving way. Tell them, hey, I'm hurting. I'm taking responsibility for my feelings. I feel left out by you when you do these things, and I'm holding it against you. I don't want to feel it anymore, so I'm telling you. That stuff is really hard to do, but a lot of times when you go through the pain and you feel the pain, usually on the other side of that is some type of relief or some type of growth that then in the future you will be thankful for. So those 2 questions, what do I need in the moment and what do I need in my life, are very important to giving yourself life. And you want to start cultivating life and energy within you. And even if you listen to Tony Robbins, he's like, it's in you, it's a muscle. And if you don't feel it, it's just because it's weak right now. But you can keep growing it. You can exercise and you exercise it daily and you practice it. And eventually you're going to realize I'm an energy giver. Someone's going to be like, man, I always feel so good when Rebecca comes around. So if you want to cultivate that, I highly recommend grabbing the journal. It also comes with like 7 book recommendations. You can read these books while journaling to really grow. We are leveling up here, okay? Alrighty guys, that's today's video. Let me know down below in the comments what type of videos you want to see and I will be sure to make them. And then also grab that journal, do yourself a favor, do your future self a favor, and start working on yourself. Alrighty guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.